Apparently, the Oscars happened. Don't know how that got by me. Oh, yeah, I don't watch them. I don't like watching rich people pat themselves in the back and give each other awards. This is Critical Drinker, so it's not going to be politically correct, but it is going to be funny and it's probably going to be a diarrhea joke. Give him a like and sub if you like him. How could you not like him? He's handsome. Let's get into it.
Awards season. If there's one thing I enjoy less than spending a couple of hours slogging through some tedious, mediocre piece of Hollywood slop, it's spending a couple of hours slogging through some tedious, mediocre awards ceremony where Hollywood celebrities who flew in on private jets wearing $10,000 dresses preach to us about the evils of capitalism and how we all need to work together to fight climate change or save the Ukraine or whatever the current popular thing is this year. It's like your average Scottish wedding. It's boring for the most part, but there's always a chance of a fight breaking out or some drunken arsehole making a fool of themselves during their speech. Sadly though, this year it was not to be. The 2025 Oscars were notable precisely because of their lack of controversy. There were no big upsets, no shocking wins or losses, no outrageous speeches or inflammatory rhetoric. Damn man, even Mark Hamill managed to keep both his pants and his Trump derangement under control for the evening, proving that he truly must be a good actor.
Yeah, was that an accident? I thought it was on purpose from what it felt like. But then someone made a joke about it and accidentally dropped it. I don't know if it was on purpose or not. Please leave a comment down below if you know for sure or if you have a clip or something for that.
Because he can pretend not to be a crazy person for a while. Conan O'Brien, one of the few late-night talk show hosts who isn't a creepy, manipulative retard, hosted with his usual laid-back, self-deprecating style, which was just as tolerably okay as you'd expect from a guy who's been in show business longer than most of us have been alive. He delivered a few pointy jabs at his fellow celebrities and one or two at the Orange Man, but most of his jokes were pretty safe and predictable and, well, fine, I guess. I have to admit, though, one of the most unintentionally hilarious moments of the night was watching Rachel Zegler waddle out on stage with Gal Gadot to present an award, looking like a small, petulant child reluctantly going clothes shopping with
Gorgeous.
her mum. Honestly, it put
Not so much. Why she would ever be jealous of her looks in that Snow White movie? Who thought that was a good idea?
these two together in public is like parking a Lamborghini next to a Ford Escort, and you could practically feel the hostility crackling in the air around them. The promo tour for Snow White's gonna be fucking wild, man.
It's Hollywood, baby.
In terms of the actual results, which I assume is why the dwindling audience still tunes in for this stuff, Anora was the big winner of the night with 5 wins, including Best Picture, Best Actress, and Best Director. And that's fine, I guess. It's a solid enough drama about a guy who falls in love with a stripper, marries her at a Vegas wedding chapel, and ultimately gets cold feet when he tries to introduce her to his family. We've all been there, bro. It's a decent little movie with
Have we?
performances, especially
Have
from
we
Mike
all
Myers,
been
and a
there?
not particularly happy ending that feels quite brutally realistic and appropriate. Yeah, it wasn't exactly a life-changing experience, and if I asked ChatGPT to produce a generic Oscar-winning movie, then I'm pretty sure it would spit out something exactly like Anora, but whatever. It was always going to be a safe bet, and I think that was a hallmark of the Oscars this year. Emilia Perez, which for some reason was
Safe
nominated
bets.
in almost every category that exists, was arguably the big loser of the night, with the only significant award going to Zoe Saldana for Best Supporting Actress. And I actually think
I
that
like
was a pretty fair
Zoe.
choice because she
She's
delivered
a good
great
actress.
performance, even if it was in a shit movie. It does make me wonder, though, if Emilia Perez was originally supposed to sweep the awards this year, but the organisers put their fingers on the scales after all the backlash to the film, and it's, star. But Drinker, you suave tuxedo-wearing Hollywood legend, I hear you say, the awards are voted on by the Academy, and there's no way to influence their decision.
Well, that's not true.
The Brutalist, which was basically 3.5 hours of Adrian Brody being miserable, ultimately paid off for the guy and netted him a Best Actor awards. It's the story of a
Good.
Jewish architect who emigrates to America after the war and helps design a new library for... Ah, motherfucker! The only real sticking point for me was The Substance, which I think should have netted Demi Moore a Best Actress.
I heard nothing
Not
but
just
good
for her
things
work on
about
that
this. I
movie,
heard
which was
I heard it was
fantastic,
powerful
but as a
and
kind of
well
lifetime
acted.
achievement award, considering she's been in the business for more than 40 years at this point. I mean, the movie did at least win for Best Makeup, which is obviously pretty well deserved, but it would have been nice to see a mainstream hit like that get a bit more recognition. As it stands, most of the winners this year were the kind of low-budget, obscure movies that were only going to be of interest to people who drive for 14 hours straight to go to wanky regional film festivals and pretend like they're enjoying themselves. As much as last year's Oscars focused on big, commercially successful, crowd-pleasing movies, this year did a complete 180, and I'm not entirely sure that it paid off. All of this is to say that the 2025 Oscars was basically a 4
I would like to see his monologue at the beginning. I feel like it would be really funny, but I don't know how much they handcuffed him. I think he'd want to be more honest than they would probably let him be.
hour Snorefest that drew 1 million less viewers than the previous year, which was already a bit of a low point, and if I had to guess, I'd say that was mostly intentional. The Oscars acts as a kind of bellwether for the state of play in Hollywood and what we can expect from them in the year ahead, whereas previous award ceremonies have been filled with defiance and political posturing and big, extravagant rants against the dreaded Orange Man. The attitude this year was like a man that's been bent over a table and violently humbled. This is an industry coming off a miserable year of strikes and disruption, followed by another year of disappointing flops and financial contraction, not to mention a US election that absolutely did not go the way they wanted. And if
It
I'm
did
right,
not,
2025
no.
isn't going to be much better for them. There was an almost tangible feeling of unease this year, like they were some unproductive employee that knows their boss is watching their every move and is desperate not to attract any more attention to themselves. And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that, because they 100% deserve this. They got too big for their boots, they overestimated their own importance and cultural power, and now they're learning the hard way that they serve us, not the other way around. A few more years of this, and they might just learn their place at last. In the meantime, though, it's going to be interesting to see how much more irrelevant next year's Oscars becomes.
It's Hollywood, baby.
Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Okay, that was quick. I forgot I had it on fast forward. Let's just get this out of the way
This is
first.
just-
That sounded about as much as a disaster as I thought it would be. Nothing interesting happened, which is pretty on par for the Oscars. I'll give them that. Way to stay normal, I guess. None of those movies looked good, except for maybe The Substance, but it's not really my cup of tea because I don't like drinking tea and then getting depressed. Let me know down below if you watch any of those movies and if any of them were deserving of the awards they got. I feel like The Substance is probably going to get a lot of love, and rightfully so. Stay safe, stay awesome, stay hydrated, take care of yourself, and watch a lot of movies with popcorn. Delicious, buttery popcorn. Mwah.